Formula 1 returns to Baku for round 17 of the 2020 season. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now with only 4 races left to go, the championship really is reaching crunch point now, as Toyota could well claim the Constructors' Championship following a good result from the end of this race. However, many eyes are also on the drivers, mainly Esteban Ocon, as the Frenchman who's returned to F1 now with Renault scored his only podium to date so far back here in 2016 for Force India. However, Alfa Romeo were expecting to go well down the back straight, the longest straight on the Formula 1 calendar. Red Bull though, as a team never known for their straight line speed, however Verstappen was the quickest car throughout practice 3 when everyone was doing their qualifying runs through the first and second sectors, so on overall lap time, the Dutchman could definitely not be counted out. And much like Alfa Romeo, Toyota were going for the straight line speed philosophy, with their cars being the fastest in a straight line. Hamilton and Matsushita went unchallenged through the speed trap throughout the third sector, but were lacking a little bit in sector 1 in time. Hey guys, Renault here, welcome back to Formula 1. Here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Lining up now on the starting grid now, which is before the race gets to go off. They've got Max Verstappen there starting in P3. Good luck there from the Red Bulls. They were good through the first few sectors. Then you've got Pierre Gasly there starting in P11. The AlphaTauri really are coming on well at the end of the season, especially in qualifying trim. Starting just outside the top 10 is what AlphaTauri need if they want to try and scrape a few points from this race. And their battle is to stay out of last place with Aston Martin. They're coming onto the formation lap. Look now to get going. Make sure most of these cars do have an anti-stall system, so all the cars should be going somewhere. Now looking at the starting grid, it's ourselves that take pole position, a crucial pole position, and a crucial 3 points because we gain back a point on Lewis Hamilton starts in second place, getting 2 points, and Verstappen takes a point, starting third. And you've got Mick Schumacher with a brilliant lap in that Williams Honda to start from P4 ahead of the lead Renault of Esteban Ocon. We have our teammate Kevin Magnussen starting from P6 in the other Alpha, ahead of the other Toyota of Matsushita, with Albon in 8th. Sergio Perez with a good lap in 9th, the trail speed of Aston Martin coming through, and Nicholas Latifi running off the top 10 in the second of the Williams. We saw Pierre Gasly starts from just outside of the top 10, whilst Nico Hulkenberg going to pull up in the Renault, getting knocked out in Q2. Ahead of both of the McLarens, the other Renault powered cars of Norris and Haryanto. Followed then by Lance Stroll, who just managed to scrape through into Q2, but could go no further than 15th. Charles Leclerc getting knocked out at the first time, asking his 16th place ahead of the other AlphaTauri of Sergio Sette. And a poor showing for both the Mercedes, the cars really not gelling with the circuit, with Russell in 18th and Daniel Kvyat down in P19. And Sebastian Vettel, after not setting a lap time in qualifying due to a technical problem, starts from the back of the grid and definitely has a lot of work to do for the 5-time champions to take any points from this weekend. And much can be the same for the two Mercedes, because Mercedes both did set laps in qualifying, but they were just both significantly off the pace. I don't know if they were having some sort of car issue as well. Again, towards the end of the season, so tyre wear, engine wear, and all the component wear is going to be ramping up now towards the end of the season, because teams are going to want to try and avoid penalties if they can, but being down near the back, it might have been worth just taking one for the team here anyway. And now coming to the 5 red lights, the start of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. It's like a gut to left and Lewis Hamilton on the dead side of the grid. Got Verstappen there looking very feisty behind us now. Hamilton's cleared us now. Instead, we're going the long way around to give Verstappen a lot of space there. Keep his side by side with the Dutchman. He's got absolutely nothing to lose now. He's not in the championship fight. He's going for glory in this race. And keeping his side by side with Verstappen. And just managed to pull clearly now. Now down the straight. The straights in this race are going to be our friends. This is where we're going to pull away from the Red Bull. And hopefully try and do something to try and catch up to the Toyota in front. And now you've got Shimi doing battle behind with the Renault of Esteban Ocon. And Ocon has got a bit of a reputation to repair, known as a bit of being a bit crash prone. That's why he got knocked out of Formula 1 a couple of years ago in place of Kobayashi in that Toyota. So of course, if Ocon could beat the Toyotas as well, that would just give him a little bit of a psychological boost there as well. His team that he got dropped for. But now then Hamilton in the other Toyota, and the lead is already streaking away. I'm sure Ocon in the back of his mind thinks that could have been him if the team just kept him. Although if you think about how things played out, he would have been in the seat that Matsushita had. So it's probably going to would be better than that Renault. Even though the Renault is a much improved car, no one really has been able to touch the Toyotas for the most part of this season. And Hamilton's just absolutely disappearing down the road now because with Alpha, with this car, it always takes a few laps to get the tyres to temperature anyway. So this is where Verstappen, Ocon, everyone else behind us is going to be very close to us. And as we get very close towards Verstappen, looking all of that, we really are holding up the Dutchman now at this early stage in the Grand Prix. There's not really a whole lot that we can do about that because I can't go any quicker. I mean, of course, you win the race, you go as quick as we can. I think that really goes without saying, but Hamilton's absolutely disappearing. We took pole, so no, this car does have pace. It's just going to be about lap 3 or 4 before we actually unlock said speed. Now Verstappen there with the slow shape, because he's got that 100 turned up now to 11. Verstappen side by side with ourselves. The Alfa and the Toyota, the fastest cars in a straight line. Now Verstappen looking at the inside line, we just managed to outbrake and go around the outside line and sweep it around the outside. And you just managed to keep yourself there ahead of the Dutchman. He's got a bit of a battle there going on behind now. Esteban Ocon now moves up into P4. You're going to get a dive there from Matsushita, makes a move there on the outgoing world champion at the end of the season, Mick Schumacher, in that Williams Honda. There's going to be another one down straight now. Can Matsushita do anything about Esteban Ocon up in front now? Going up now into turn 3. Is it close to try and make a move? Not quite. Now we've got Schumacher having to go very defensive there from Alex Albon in the other of the Red Bulls. Then we have our teammate Kevin Magnussen now falling away a little bit. We've got the Aston Martin there. Perez right behind us. Perez. You haven't really seen too much of him in the past few races. I mean, the Astons have really been a bit anonymous ever since. I think we're about the Austrian Grand Prix where I think they took a double points haul there. Ever since then, we haven't really seen a whole load of them. And now we're seeing quite a bit of them now, because we're getting a bit further now, looking at one of the Ferraris here, I think, of Charles Leclerc, who started down towards the back of the grid. He had a good start there. He's got quite a few cars behind him. He's definitely still not in 16th place now. We've got the other Aston Martin there, Lance Stroll going side by side. He gets squeezed by the Monegasque. Now you've got Daniel Kvyat to make his way now through the order after Mercedes had a poor qualifying. So they may have a little bit better race pace. But now Stroll trying to go around the outside line of the Ferrari into turn 1. I mean, we've already shown that outside overtakes can work here. Now, into turn 1, still have to go the long way around. Can't we see this camera? We still have a bit of contact there with the Ferrari. Oh, Charles, okay, you got 3 wide now. You've got Kvyat the inside line into turn 2. There's going to be a massive crash into the wall, surely here. But now they've just managed to go through somehow all of that. There's a little bit of contact coming out of turn 1, but all the cars are still going. And out of all of that, Daniel Kvyat's managed to make a move through and gain 2 places out of that. Now you've got Leclerc still doing battle with Lance Stroll. I think a bit of debris came out. I think there may have been a little bit of contact between one of these cars. I'm pretty sure I just saw something fly off. Now Stroll managed to make the move stick as well on the Ferrari. So Leclerc may have had a good start, but the pace that Ferrari just really isn't there. But much try to Mercedes well. But the Max looks inside better pace. That's big contact. That's playing why it's going slowly. One of the Ferraris there is having an issue a bit. I think he's crashed into his teammate there as well, Charles Leclerc. He's pulling off and he's crashed into Vettel. Well, Vettel drove into the back of him, but with how close you are, expecting a sudden slow like that wasn't really expected. And that just absolutely destroyed any chance Ferrari had of scoring points now in this race. Now then, on to lap 7, and we're still in 2nd place. We've now managed to drop Verstappen. I mean, we've kept Hamilton somewhat honest. The gap hasn't really grown all that much. I mean, you just about see him there up in front. He's got about a 2-second gap there on the mini map, I would say. Now they're trying to have Verstappen. Is he going to the pace? Yes, he is. He's going for a very early course. Rebel putting the trigger now, being the first team to make a pit stop here. I mean, he's going to be. He's got 3rd place at worst, really, in this race. Pretty much already signed up after these early laps, given the pace of his top 3 cars. Now he comes in now for a set of the hard tyres, because you can do one stop from soft to hard. He gets a bit of a poor stop there, so I don't think he was held there for anyone. So he had a bit of trouble there selecting the first gear, which was going to cost him time. And it's a good stop from Toyota to get Matsushita out. So this was like, because everyone's trying at one stop, all the medium tyre runners will be going along, obviously longer into the race and going to a set of hards later on, so they'll have the tyre wear advantage. But for now, this is where everyone else will be getting the effective undercut on all of them. But Verstappen there, without being held up, is coming out in traffic. Now you've got the 2 McLarens there, and now you've got the teams that can surge past both of the McLarens there down the straight. Nice move there from the Canadian. Makes a mistake there as on the after time. We've got side still between the 2 McLarens. I think Norris there has just come out in front of Ria Haryanto. And now we've got Verstappen looking for a move. No, Haryanto goes defensive there, tries to block off the Red Bull. Because Haryanto, he's in his own fight, in his own little world, down towards the back end of the grid. But now onto the end of that same lap now, Lewis Hamilton now from the lead of the race comes in, but now we're sitting out for yet another lap, because the tyre wear actually isn't all that bad. I'm a bit surprised, really. I thought the tyre wear, I mean, it can be a one-stop, but still, the soft tyres on a track like this as well, it pretty much like is kind of like Singapore in a way, where it's just all slow to be on, so you do really punish the tyres here. And you've got Nico Hulkenberg like currently in P2. He's going to come out ahead of Hamilton. Yes, he is. So Hulkenberg from 12th to 2nd place currently, although the Renault still has to make a stop. But now then, a bit further on, we're now making an off-stop. I don't know if this is the end of that lap or if it's a bit further on, but we're now coming into the pits now. They're from the lead of the race, and we're going on to a set of the medium tyres. I think we've managed to carry these tyres a bit further into the race, because the tyre, like I said, really wasn't that bad. And now we're going to try and take a set of mediums now to the end of the race. course, we've been losing time now with Hamilton gaining on us, but now then we've got a tied compound advantage. We've come out there just ahead of Danny Kvyat in the Merc as well, so I'm pretty sure that's why we got called in at that exact moment, so we don't lose that tier to the Russian. He's got DRS though coming down into turn 3. Is Kvyat going to try and make a move side by side? We really can't afford to get overtaken by him, and he thinks better of it because he knows he's not racing us. He's racing the likes of the McLarens, his teammate, the Ferraris, AlphaTauris, and all the midfield pack, trying to get a few points, especially with Mercedes fighting with Williams for 5th place in the constructors. And with Williams having a good showing so far, Mercedes need really all the points they can take from this race. But now that leaves Nico Hülkenberg in the lead of the Grand Prix, and I don't think he's led a race since Monaco. So I mean, the Renault, it's been a good car, but it just hasn't quite had the upgrade speed of the likes of the Toyotas and the Alfa Romeos. Now we've got Lewis Hamilton, who's going to be the effective race leader because Hulk still yet to actually make his pit stop. And it should be a pretty simple move because I'm pretty sure Hulk's not going to fight this. Like I say, he's not racing Hamilton. He's racing probably somewhere in the top 10. Now Hamilton gets squeezed though. He's not going to make it easy for him, but he's probably going to let him pass when he gets into the braking zone. Now going to pull side by side now with the Renault driver. And he's going to breeze past him now on the run down into turn 1. And it's in the straight line. There's not really there Hulk can do. That Toyota's unbelievably quick in a straight line. I don't know what they've done just to get so much speed out of that engine. And of course they returned back to Formula 1 back in 2017. They brought their own engine halfway through the season. Because with everyone going to hybrid technology from 2014, it pretty much was a quality car to bring Toyota back to Formula 1 with their hybrid technology from all their campaigns in the World Endurance Championships. So they definitely know what they're doing, and definitely know what they're doing with making engines there as well. But Hülkenberg, to be fair, is giving Hamilton a run for his money because the Renault, I think, has a bit better downforce than the Toyota, so that's definitely the area where the Toyotas are definitely lacking. But now they're on to lap 16, because Hülkenberg will have made now his pit stop, because we're now in second place, Hamilton in the lead of the race. We've been gaining so much time, we've got the fast lap as well, that's why we've got the purple border around our name. But these medium tyres, they're so much quicker than the hards. And now we've got the DRS, we've got the slow stream, using Richmond as well, using everything we can. We're going to pull side by side now with Lewis Hamilton, going to go for the outside move once again into turn 1, going to squeeze Hamilton into the apex. Hamilton has to brake early, hasn't quite got the grip on the harder tyres now. We move into the lead of the Grand Prix, this is crucial for the championship as well. Because if you haven't seen the last race, I think you should have started watching that one by now if you haven't, so you're going to spoil something. Lewis Hamilton retired from the last race at China, so he gained 12 points back on him there, and as things stand, we'll be getting back another 5 or 6 points if you get the fastest lap as well. You get 20 points for a win, 15 for second, and of course the 1 point for fastest lap if you're in the top 10. So another 6 points gained back, that's exactly what we need, because Hamilton still has a 1 race advantage plus. He's about 27 points or so ahead. This is exactly what we need to bring ourselves back into the title fight. But I'm moving a bit further on, we're just leaving Hamilton for dust now. We're already pulling away from him. And you've got Verstappen in a very lonely P3. The Red Bull, they've been looking good, but just haven't ultimately got the straight line speed. We've got Alex Albon there at P4, so the tyre driver's had a bit of an anonymous race as well, but you're doing a good job there in the Red Bull in 4th place ahead of the other Toyota then of Haru Matsushita. Once again, he's just in a bit of a world of his own, although he would be if he didn't have one of the Renaults there right behind him. Yeah, Esteban Ocon, I can't quite tell from this camera. I think it was the Renault there of Ocon. This fight once again is going to get pretty personal. This Matsushita, as I said earlier on, is driving what effectively would be Ocon's car if he was still at Toyota, if he didn't get dropped a couple of seasons ago. Now Ocon gaining on the back of the Toyota in front. Now going down the straight, actually that's like the Renault there of Hülkenberg. I think just got a glimpse there of the helmet thing is more of a yellow, so either way, the points about Ocon still stand, but I think it's the Renault actually here of Nico Hülkenberg. I don't know where Ocon's disappeared off to, but now going to be Hülkenberg there with the DRS now. Can he try and make a move on the Toyota? Going to be a really good comeback here from Hülkenberg from 12th place up now into the top 5, maybe side by side. It's going to be the reverse of what happened to him a couple laps ago when Lewis Hamilton took the lead of the race. And now he makes a mistake with Massachusetts that gives him a fight. We know how feisty Massachusetts is going to be back from when he made his debut race back in 2018 in the Alfa Romeo Sauber team as he was back then. So our team definitely know all about Massachusetts, and he's going to come back now with the DRS as well, because that Toyota is faster in a straight line. He hasn't got the overall downforce and maybe even a lap time speed as what Hülkenberg can manage in terms of race trim. And we've got the lead of the Williams there of Mick Schumacher, pretty much just in a world of his own. That's what we're concentrating on the end of the mirror. So Schumacher just doing what he can to try and consolidate some good points for Williams, especially since he got the Mercedes there down the Kvyat on a charge now, just makes a move there past one of the other runner there of Esteban Ocon. So I was wondering where Ocon dropped to. Looks like he's dropping down the order a little bit, and definitely not quite showing the pace that he was back at the last race at China. Then we got our teammate Kevin Magnussen ahead then of the lead of the McLarens. Coca Siege on his side, I think it's the McLaren there of Lando Norris. I think it's one of the number 4 on the side of the car. Then we had the lead of the AlphaTauris and the lead of the Aston Martin. Now this fight could be crucial as well, towards the back end of the points, or just outside it as well. These two teams fighting to get out of last place in the constructors, because the difference is about 5 or 6 million, and that may not sound like a lot in terms of relative to the position in front, but every bit of money counts, especially since AlphaTauri are basically funded by Red Bull, so there's no worry about them going out of business. So Aston Martin, they can definitely do with the money. Then we've got the other Aston of Longshore a bit further down the order, and then we have the other McLaren of Ria Haryanto. So I don't know what's happened to the Indonesian here, but he's just ending up so far down the order. We've got Seb Vettel, the sole remaining Ferrari, pretty much here down at the back. Good time to take a new front wing after making contact when Leclerc retired from the race, basically right in front of him, so he had no time to react. Well, he still found himself ahead there of George Russell, so the 2019 F2 champion not having a great showing in this race. Don't really know what's happened to him to be so far down the order down there with the Ferrari and Haryanto. Now moving a bit further on, a bit of a lock up there though from Daniel Kvyat. He's had some good pace. Looks like he's having to push the car pretty much beyond his limits there. We almost saw him there going straight into the wall there. That is probably the trickiest corner to hit, because I almost hit it there on lap 1 when I didn't really have a lot of tyre temp. But now Ocon though, with the slow machine, is not going to be able to make a move there through the fast chicane. He's going to have to stick out in the slow machine with the back of that Mercedes, because what that Mercedes lacks in overall speed is definitely making the forward engine power. But when you got slow machine in DRS, there's not really a whole lot you can do this bit risky. As described by Arab, it's basically just like a motorway. You pull up inside, you just drive straight past them, and then like the motorway, you cut back in front of the car in front as everyone else does. But either way though, Ocon makes a move there on Daniel Kvyat, pretty simple move there from the Frenchman. And now this is what we need our teammate K-Mag now to follow suit, because K-Mag, he's got the same stride speed as we have, he hasn't got the overall pace in this race, but K-Mag now, he's just going to go around the outside line. Kvyat's going to try and come back there at the Renault. No, hasn't got enough speed now. Just left K-Mag to go around the outside line as Kvyat gets compromised and gets a bit of squirmy as well, forcing himself over to the inside line, pretty much compromised himself there. And a nice move for K-Mag there to make the place on Daniel Kvyat. Now can he get over, can he try and get past Espinosa? Because Alpha, for second place in the Constructors, we've got it. I don't want to say in the bag, I think we're about 50 points or so ahead of the Renault team, so any points that we can gain on as well is I'm not going to say no to that. Okay, he's going to a very good move around the outside line. Ocon has to go defensively to the inside line. He's going to take a very tight line into the corner, gets a compromised exit. And now K-Mag on the inside line. A nice move there for K-Mag, set Ocon up there brilliantly. And now the Dane keeping it side by side with Esteban Ocon, going to try and force him out, but keeping it side by side. Oh no, side by side through the chicane. Surely this can't end well. They're easily trying to keep it side by side through here. Neither of them are giving up. Balls and steel here from both of them. Okay, side by side still. It looks like K-Mag's then got the bare line, but Kvyat's going to make it 3 wide. He's just going to squeeze into the wall. Has to back out of that move there at the last second. Now side by side, I don't know which car can have DRS here. I don't know if he's not going to have DRS. It's like Ocon there manages to get him, but now Kvyat with a dual slow shim, a double toe, and maybe even a double bit of DRS really. Trying to go in the outside line now of Ocon now into turn 1 side by side with the Frenchman. In on his second race back now in Formula 1. Keeping it side by side now into the braking zone, still going to go on the outside line. We've seen you can get 3 wide through this, you can definitely get side by side. Now K-Mag now is his turn now with the double solution and trying to make a move on the Renault. It's like, and they're both got DRS, so they're going to be coming back now at Daniel Kvyat into turn 3. And I'm going to keep this outside Kvyat there, blocked off aggressively. Now K-Mag once again going to the outside line. He's trying to get both of them once again. A brilliant move from K-Mag, and you can see that. Where's he got that traction from? Where did he find that? He came out coming alive at the end of the Grand Prix. We've seen it so many times this season. He just disappears at the start, but comes alive like the final 5 or 6 laps of the race and makes us overtake over the season after overtake of the season. If he can just pick up his pace at the start, then he could definitely well be in the championship fight. Maybe even for next season if Alfa can build us another good car. We've got another 3 wide battle though. And pulling out here just in front of us now. You've got the AlphaTauri, the McLaren, Lando Norris. Here's how I say with the Aston Martin, there's Sergio Perez, and there's a bit of there's like an no, engine failure once again. He's at the other Ferrari. No, this time it's Nicholas Latifi in the Williams, and Latifi's had such a good season. I would say rookie of the year, but I think he's the only rookie on the grid actually. So by default, he is rookie of the year. But he's had such a good season. But the Williams car, it's not been the most reliable though when it has shown good total speed like it has now. And now on to lap 25. Now to the final lap, coming on to the final lap of the race, we put up the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And we just outside, you can't even see Hamilton behind us. The soft to medium strat just wiped out second. We're 8 seconds clear now of Lewis Hamilton. Unless he pulls out a madness on this final lap, I think we've got the fastest lap points down in the bag, and we've got 8 seconds to play with, so we don't need to risk anything here on this final lap. And I don't know if you saw it on the mini-mode, they're coming through turn 1 and 2. That Verstappen is really catching up now to Lewis Hamilton, so the Toyota, the tyre wear, like I said, they really don't have the downforce, so they've got the engine, and really no one can compete with them on the engine side for outright power and speed. but on the downforce side, and maybe even the chassis as well, they've still got a little bit of work to do. Of course, since they came back. Only remember, they only came back a couple of years ago, and because the engine, ever since 2014 really, this era of Formula 1 has been about the engines really, although Aero have tried to make it a bigger point by with these bigger and wider cars from 2016. Still, it was really all about the engine now, is keeping it nice and smooth here through the middle sector, because we've got 8 seconds to play, so I don't need to push anything, don't need to get anywhere near close to the walls. You can really afford to back off, and you can really see there on the minimap, Verstappen getting right up the back there of Lewis Hamilton, so there could still be a change for second place. I mean, back to the 2017 Grand Prix, with Johnny Vernon, Sebastian Vettel very much cost the line. The fish using the heat! We've hit the wall though! Our tyres are done, we've hit the wall! And oh, that's not good. We need to go, we've got the fastest part of the lap left to go! I don't know what happened there, the tyres are really starting to go for it. Maybe we pushed a little bit too hard there, maybe switch off a little bit there, go into autopilot. And he's going to keep it nice and slow, really slowing it down here through the chicane. I mean, I say you're going slow, we're still doing 150 miles an hour. Well, that's slow from relative to Formula 1 speeds. I mean, we were so lucky there not to end the Grand Prix. That could be wheel off, although I could have probably three-wheeled it to the line. I doubt I would have won the race though, but we get so lucky there. We got a run with the green once again, 2 races in a row, and now we win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We gain back some more points on Lewis Hamilton in the championship. But the real question is now, how many points are we going to gain? And it looks like Hamilton there just managed to hold on. Ahead there of Max Verstappen, but Fred Vasseur, I pretty much got into a bit of a cold sweat there when he saw us whack the wall. And that corner, like I said, it's the hardest corner on the track, and we got lucky there just to hit the front wing and not the wheel. But we take the win because if we hit the wheel, if it didn't come off, we could have got a puncture there easily for sure. And the team celebrating there, a much needed win in the championship. We're keeping the host line now, gaining ground once again. And you have Esteban Ocon there in P9, so not quite the best showing from Esteban Ocon, but still it is only his second race back in Formula 1. Now then, onto the podium, standing on the top stair once again. That is exactly what we need now, gaining back some more points on Lewis Hamilton, with Verstappen finishing there in P3. And we get actually, that's a really nice looking trophy, to be fair. The Azerbaijan trophy. You don't know if it's mould up or anything, but look, it looks nice anyway. Now we spray the champagne, stealing that from the moaning Yorkshireman. So if you've never watched any of his F1 videos, definitely go and give him a watch. But we take another win, gain back some more crucial points, and some more points on Renault in the constructors. Taking a look now at the end results. I take the win, 4 seconds in the end ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who holds on to second place just by 7/10 from Max Verstappen, rounds off the podium in third. A good but quiet drive from Alex Albon sees the tyre driver come home in P4 in the other Red Bull, with Matsushita finishing P5 and second of the Toyotas. Though he just managed to beat Nico Hulkenberg, so there may have been a last lap move there, being only a 3/10 gap between them. With Mick Schumacher getting some good points again for Williams, finishing in 7th. Quite some way ahead of our teammate Kevin Magnussen, who finishes in 8th and second of the Alfa Romeos. Esteban Ocon finished in 9th place as we saw. And in the end was only a second clear of Daniel Kvyat, so that fight really went to the end of the race between them two, with K-Mag eventually able to pull away a little bit. Sergio Perez takes a crucial 2 points for Aston Martin, although Sergio Sette once again comes out of nowhere, scores another point for AlphaTauri, so Perez, they may beat AlphaTauri, but they only gain 1 point back, and being where they are, they definitely need to be getting back more there. Every point is crucial for those teams. And we've taken the maximum points that we could. We're now back to within under a race win's worth of points now behind Lewis Hamilton. He's got a 19 point lead now over ourselves, and the fight for third place is heating up once again, with Matsushita in P3, 12 points clear of Hulkenberg. So Renault, if they could take a P3 in the drivers, I'm pretty sure they'd be very happy with that given how their season went last year. And K-Mag now in 5th place, but he's only 1 point clear now of Verstappen. Red Bull really are coming on strong now towards the end of the year. I'm pretty sure Verstappen wants to try and get in the top 5 before the season's out. We've got Johnny Vernon dropping down now into 7th place, but he looks pretty secure there, unless Alex Albon strings together another few good results like he has. And you've got Mick Schumacher in 9th place, 3 points clear now of Daniel Kvyat. Sebastian Vettel P11 still as the lead Ferrari on 60 points, 3 points clear of Nicholas Latifi, who still remains in the top 12 despite a DNF in this race. Finishing now he's on 57 points. I said it could happen in this race, and Toyota now have claimed their first ever Constructors' Championship. I mean, they didn't really have a whole load of success from 2002 to 2009, I think they got about 12 or 13 wins, but when Toyota rocked at the start of the season, Hamilton won the first 4 or 5 races on the bounce. we knew there would be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, Red Bull, Renault and Alpha, we've caught up as the season's gone on, of course, through the logic of diminishing returns. So they came out strong. They just had too good of a package in the early races, and they claimed their first ever Constructors' crown. Now they'll be looking to do the double and secure the Drivers' Championship for Hamilton, but that looks like it's going to go all the way down to the wire, with 3 races yet to go. We've got Alfa Romeo, it looks like we're pretty secure, 60 points clear. Then again, if Rennie keep getting a few 1-2s, you never know what can happen. There's still the fight for second place, it's still way too long. As long as the maths say it's possible, then it's definitely possible. But still, congratulations to Toyota on their first ever championship success in Formula 1. And prove now why they came back with those hybrid systems. But definitely know what they're doing now in this era of F1. And we have Red Bull still in 4th place, looking pretty secure in an absolute no man's land there of their own. We've got Williams in 5th place. And they're 14 points now clear off Mercedes. That fight pretty much is also going to the end of the season as it looks so far. And we've got Ferrari looking pretty secure despite a poor race here today in 7th place on 101 points. And you've got McLaren P8 on 82, once again also looking fairly secure. And the fight to not be last, the fight for 9th place between AlphaTauri and Aston Martin also looks like it's going to go to the end of the season, with AlphaTauri on 58 and Aston Martin on 51. Remember to vote for your driver of the day with the poll links that'll be in the video description, along as a link to the wiki for this series, which I edit myself after each race, usually the same day or a day or so later, to keep it up to date. And I've done it since this season began. The series began back in 2014, so I've done one for every team, every driver to have ever competed in this season, so that's like 70 odd pages as well. I've done one for every year and update it by myself, so it's a lot of work, and collectively over these seasons in the past few years, it's been a lot of work, so I'd appreciate it if you go and give that a read. So leave a like if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed this race, the championship fight heating up, and if you found it try to leave a like as well for them winning the Constructors' Championship. Yeah, so leave a like, leave a comment down below as well about what you thought on this race. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. So thanks for watching, I'll see you all 3 races left to go in the championship next time for the Singapore Grand Prix.